What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Noah with CustomRCMods, and in today's episode I've got part 4 of my FPV drone build series. And if you guys have not watched the other parts, the parts where of course we select the components of this build, then we actually build it of course, and then we tune it in beta flight and get it all configured, ready to fly. I'll have that entire playlist in the description down below. Go ahead and fill in on all those before coming back here. But now it's time to actually put the props to the air and get the thing on up in the sky. So as you can see, I've got my drone all laid out. We're just checking over everything before I go ahead and pack it up and take it to my fly spot. So I've checked over all my connections, just make sure we're all good to go. And of course, just done a little test hover inside here, but I'll actually do a proper test hover because unless you're a super experienced pilot, definitely do not do a test hover indoors, especially in a tiny little room or something like that. Anyway, we also installed the GoPro Session 5 here. We have an SD card and it's all, the battery's all charged and everything like that. So I hope that we're going to get some good footage out of it here. And then of course we've got our two batteries here, the Ovonic 1550 80Cs. These are my older batteries. I'm yet to cycle in my new round of batteries, but either way, we're getting there very soon, and I'm really optimistic about how this thing's going to fly. As you can see, we got a few other drones I'm going to fly in this flying session. However, this is going to be the main emphasis of this video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and head out to the spot and get this thing on up in the air. Alright, so we're on location now. It's time to go ahead and fly. So let's on the motors and get up in the air. So the first thing that really stood out to me with this quad, just on my first few seconds on the sticks, is just how smooth these motors actually are. Now I noticed this with the quietness of their idle when I initially armed it, as well as just the hover testing was very successful and controlled. However, this just really is, I mean, it's amazing, and I didn't understand how much it would affect the flying performance of this quad. It might have to do something with the actual weight of the build, a little bit heavier than what I'm used to, so that could be why I feel like I have a little more throttle control than I'm used to, but these motors are definitely really helping that as well. So as you can see, I'm just trying to stay controlled and fly around here the best I can. Obviously on your maiden flight you really don't need to push it. You want to make sure that you have a full understanding of the quad's capabilities and just kind of get warmed up to it before you start taking huge risks, power loops, split S's, and all of those other risky things that you do when you're more comfortable. So I'm definitely not pushing limits at this point, but every turn getting a little bit faster and faster as I go along. And I am running these GemFan 51433 props on this flight, but I was torn between the HQ V1Ss and these props. I think if I had to decide right now, I'd be a little bit more in favor of the GemFans. They are a little bit quieter and they feel a little bit more consistent, especially when I blip the throttle. So if I'm going up against something and I need to just give it a little bit of a punch of throttle, it's going to appear a little bit less in the footage, and provides a little bit less prop wash. So definitely a little bit of more of an advantage to the GemFans right now, but I got to try them both head to head at this point. I'm kind of just operating off my prior knowledge with the HQs. Now the stock tune on this build is actually feeling really good for what it is. I mean, you can definitely see the prop wash that needs to get tuned out and the jitters in the corners, as well as the sticks just feel a little bit mushy to me, as they normally do on a stock tune. So upping the P and D gains a little bit, as well as just maybe going up a notch or two on filters, is probably just going to be all I really need to do with this. But that's going to be my next video. It's going to be all about tuning. But again, I still have to put a few more flights on this on the stock tune before I get into hardcore PID tuning. So be patient for that video coming here maybe in the next week or so. Another thing that I noticed with this PID tune is that the sticks feel just a little bit loose, and that's something again that I've come to acknowledge with pretty much all Betaflight stock tunes. But you can kind of see on these that I'm just a little bit imprecise through the corners. I have to do a little bit of overcorrecting and overflying. So that's one thing that's definitely going through my head as I look at things to go ahead and tighten this tune up with. So now I'm testing the downward prop wash, and it's not the best. You can definitely hear
the prop jitters through that downward dive there. But you know, either way, it's definitely, again, something that can easily be tuned out with the D-gain. I mean, I'm like I said, relatively impressed with this stock tune for what it is. And if you're a beginner, you probably don't have to do a lot with it, so don't stress about it. But yeah, very happy with it overall. That's really gonna wrap up the flight. You can hear the buzzer there telling me that my battery's critically low, so I need to come in and land. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.